back with more like Postgame wrap. Once again, the final from the Wolstein Center. Green Bay for the second consecutive night. Well, my hat's off to Green Bay again. They fought, and continued to fight. They shot a high percentage in that second half. We defensively, we were able to stop those guys in certain situations. And I thought our offense was led by our defensive stops. And that's why we were able to get the lead that we got. In that second half, they took care of the basketball. But, first and foremost, having Aljavon Eichelberger deliver when we were in the need to deliver, it was tremendous. It was great. But my hat's off to, Green Bay on a wonderful game they played. And my guys, what can I say about them? They giving us everything they got. They're digging deep. Whatever they have in the tank, they are giving it unselfishly to each other, and they're doing it in a way that I think is remarkable. So, questions.
All right, Alec, you're up first.
Hey, Coach. Congrats on another victory. I noticed you had a fair amount of success tonight. Playing Bodoan and Yael Hill on the floor at the same time. Could you go into a little bit of detail about the benefits of playing those two together?
Well, I think it happened organically because we had two starters in foul trouble early, and he got the bulk of those minutes. But he was on the side of giving us the run that we had, and I thought he initiated a lot of things, took pressure off Craig to be the primary ball handler, but he came in defensively, and he was able to keep those guys in front of him. And that's where they wasn't able to separate as much because Yael has some speed. I thought we were able to have better ball handling. We had a great assist-to-turnover ratio. Obviously, I couldn't get him in there in that second half, and I tried to do the same thing. He got into some foul trouble early, and I had to go with a different lineup. But also, remember, Torrey Patton only played 2 or 3 minutes in that first half, so he ended the game with 19 or 20 minutes, and Deontay Johnson the same way. They got in foul trouble. We had to figure out other guys stepping up, and that speaks for our depth, So definitely a plus when we can play Yael and Craig at the same time.
Thank you.
All right, Hugh.
Coach, congratulations on the win tonight, 12-2 in the Horizon League. I wanted to ask you, it seemed like you guys had a great first half, and they looked like they were trying to come back. They cut it to 3 at one point. Could you speak on either what you did as a coach or what your guys did in order to –
I thought Green Bay got, and the credit is to Green Bay, they got to what they have done this entire weekend, and that's get good shots. They took care of that basketball, and they shot a high percentage and got to the free throw line. So I would like to take all the credit and say, we did or didn't do something. I think Green Bay did what their program was to do, and they imposed their will on us in that way. But we responded, which is the great thing about it. Our guys didn't blink once, and they didn't get rattled. Although they did cut that lead, we were expecting them to play a little bit better, and we got stagnant on offense. And then that's when I had to go with the play calls, and we were playing in more of a half-court structure. And that's where we got Aljavon going and Trey Gomillion going and Craig Baudouin going. And they were able to execute offensively what we needed out of timeouts and in different situations.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Tom, we'll go to you.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about closing out the game again. He was better than yesterday. Could you talk about it?
Well, I think that's a great question. I think each game gives unique sets of circumstances, and I thought our guys actually responded a lot better, able to close the game, but that's a sign of growth and maturity. You got to understand these guys hadn't been playing for a long time in Division I. So these scenarios and situations are new to them. We just got to continue to work on them in practice. But one thing is practice experience. Another thing is game experience. As they continue to see these same situations show up, they'll be able to meet them face to face. And I was proud of the way they handled it. We were able to get to the foul line, secure the rebounds, get the ball in bounds. We had one turnover that we didn't grab with two hands, but I can't just pinpoint everything and say that those mistakes can cost us, but our guys stood the test and we prevailed.
Anyone else got a question for Coach?
Could you talk about Al, what he brings to the team? He had his best game.
Yeah. I mean, Al is the one person on the team that has played over 100 games in his career. I believe over 100, is it? Yeah. So he's our most tenured guy. And he's sort of the pulse and the calming spirit about him that makes that pressure the guys may or may not feel, that in-game pressure. He relaxes our team. And he plays with poise, no different than he was able to get open on a couple out-of-bounds plays, and they delivered him the ball. He was able to knock down some free throws. That's experience showing up. And sometimes you're not fortunate enough to have every guy on your team with that much experience. But our guys are learning, and Al Javon is continuing to teach and lead. So his leadership is important to us.
Alec?
Yeah, Coach, can you just speak a little bit to the confidence this game will give Al Eichelberger going forward?
Well, this was his season high in minutes this year, I believe. He played 29, 30 minutes. For him to do that, and, you know, I give our training, our trainer, Max Benton, our strength and conditioning coach, Tim Bilbrey, I give those guys credit for getting him prepared and put in a situation where he can log these minutes. It's tough going through a pandemic, right? It's even more tough to go through that with a foot sprain that Al had. Then he had a knick-knack on his knee. So that's what you have to look at when you try to get him back into shape or back into form. We're just taking it one game at a time, one week, one day at a time, 1 week at a time, and we're allowing him to have more rest throughout the week. But that's the rehab and the preparation from our staff to put him in a situation where he's confident playing on those bumps, playing through those bumps and bruises.
Thank you so much.
Yep, no problem.
All right, does anybody have anything else for Coach Gates? Nope. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you, guys. Go Vikes.